If y'all love black people, like this, comment, and share if y'all love black people.
The school district now is a freaking nightmare. I go to enroll my child and my kiddo is standing right there. I hand them the birth certificate and I say, see right here, this is his sex. He is a boy, he goes by he, him. I had no issues at his past school and I don't expect to have any issues here. And I swear it was like Karen, the transphobic secretary, was just waiting on us that day. She said she wouldn't put my child in the school system as his name because it has to match a birth certificate. But again, had no issues at the last school. I told her I absolutely would not enroll my child as a female. And she said, you will and you are. She enrolled my child as a female, then sent mail to my house with my child's dead name on it. At this point, my child is supposed to start school on Monday and is enrolled in the system as a female. Every single teacher in the school knew about my child. And the students were told a little girl was coming to class. This is a visual representation of my mood. Like and follow for part 3.
Yeah, right. And things make women, right? Women fight the meth goods, get stress off by knocking golf balls right? But so I think mansplaining, having that, I think that's third wave. You know, it's sort of a postmodern.
Do you even know what mansplaining is?
Yeah, I'm generally familiar with it. It's a pretty general term.
Mansplaining is when a guy explains something to a woman because he thinks that she automatically doesn't understand it on the basis of her being a woman. That is mansplaining.
Yeah. And I mean, you can like before you were talking about whether labels were bad, I think you just labeled something like...
I never said labels were bad. I said it depends on the label.
All my bitches feel like I dodged. Don't even fucking with you, feel like jail, nigga. I can't even exhale, nigga. Pussy like holy grail, you know that.
A day ago, someone posted this in our local Facebook community group in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. She thought this would be a good idea for Portsmouth. I happen to agree. Unfortunately, it generated a lot of hate and all the bigots came out and a lot of stuff like this. I found out that a subcommittee of the city had recently discussed the possibility of this, and I looked at the notes from the meeting and it looked like finances would be a barrier in preventing this from happening. So 23 hours ago, I created a fundraiser, and right now we have raised $5,835 out of an overall goal of $10,000. It seems pricey, but I looked into other cities and looked at their reports, and they range from all over the place from much more than $10,000, and $10,000 seemed to be a safe spot to have a decent crosswalk. I posted my fundraiser in 2 local community groups, and to no surprise, I have received all sorts of hate for this, or comments like these. A lot of stop shoving it down our throats, but I've also received a ton of support in comments, private messages, backup in these conversations, and in donations. I really want to make sure all financial barriers are removed from the possibility of having this come to our city. I don't want that to be the reason. So I'm asking for a little bit of help to reach our $10,000 goal. If you live near Portsmouth, New Hampshire, if you've ever visited the city, or if you just love proving a point to bigots, please check out this fundraiser and donate $5 if you can. You can find the link in my bio. Unfortunately, yes, you have to be on Facebook to be able to donate. And if you can't, if you could just help by spreading this fundraiser to people who love to take down bigots, I would be gratefully appreciative. Gratefully. Thank you.
Don't you guys ever get fucking tired of not listening to sex workers? Don't you guys ever get tired of being ill-intended and speaking in bad faith? I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do this. Sex workers have been making critiques of their industry for fucking decades, but because we don't have voices in community or legislation or policy or even online because of stigma that y'all perpetuate, you guys get to speak over us. Dumb! Genuinely curious when we're going to be able to make critiques of our own industry because we've been begging for rights instead of rescue for fucking decades. This work has become hyper visible in the last 2 years and y'all have done nothing to destigmatize it for us. You are part of the problem, along with patriarchy and capitalism and everything else that puts people in the positioning to do this work. And instead of looking at those systems that put those people in the positionings, you scapegoat us. The way you think is fucking goofy and it's flawed. Boost sex workers' voices.
So, Evelyn, I so appreciate our dialogue. Thank you for all you do. Looking forward to getting to know you, Justin. Also going to open the card.
Hi, Evelyn. It's so nice to meet you. I hope this card doesn't scare you. And I want to say it's also so lovely having that online discussion with you. Thank you for holding space for that, and thank you for the way you use your platform. And if this book touches you in any way, please pass it on to a man in your life, and keep doing what you're doing. You're making us all better for it. Sending you tons of love. Here's to our collective enoughness.
I'm gonna hop on the trend because I've seen people do this. Read his book, and you are enough.
I was rereading this fascinating article by the co-founder of a radical feminist organization called Red Stockings. It's called Radical Feminism and Feminist Radicalism by Ellen Willis. In it, Willis asserts that the radical feminist movement that she helped spearhead in the 1970s has diverted so much from its original goals and values that the branch has essentially disintegrated. Those who call themselves radical feminists now, she argues, are essentially cultural feminists. That is, those who see the primary goal of feminism as freeing women from the imposition of male values and creating an alternative culture based on female values. I'd like to give a quick summary of this article because I think it offers some very valuable insight as to why radical feminism now is so entrenched in biological essentialism and transphobia. Willis acknowledges two basic weaknesses of the original radical feminist movement that she believes laid the foundation for the splintering of the branch. The first was this: in radical feminism's attempt to stress the foundational role that gender repression had in society, it ended up ignoring the importance of other social institutions altogether. There was an unarticulated assumption that we could work out our differences solely within a feminist framework and ignore or agree to disagree on other political issues. This made for a very fragile kind of solidarity, and it also excluded large groups of women. Black and working class women could not accept the abstraction of feminist issues from race and class issues since the latter were so central to their lives. Basically, radical feminism lacked intersectionality and complexity. It failed to account for the differences between women. Radical feminism's answer to this problem was the assertion that female oppression was primary and that all other forms of oppression arose from that. And as a way to avoid acknowledging the differences between women, it then proposed a very idealistic notion of universal sisterhood as revolutionary praxis. Commitment to the sex-class paradigm pinned women's hopes for radical change on a millennial unity of women across barriers of class, race, cultural values, and sexual orientation. The gap between what radical feminism promised and what it could deliver without a more complex, multivalent theory and strategy was immense. Willis then said that this gap was filled with ideas such as political lesbianism, female separatism, the all-heterosexual sex is rape line, the assertion that dominance was an inherently male value. I mean, sound familiar? These are exactly the values that self-proclaimed radical feminists espouse today. Willis says the second weakness of the movement was failure to adequately develop a coherent analysis of male or female psychology. That is, a sufficient explanation for how people become gendered subjects, man, woman, masculine, feminine. And this next quote from Willis on what radical feminism turned to instead is spot on. In general, the inheritors of the radical feminist movement have endorsed some version of behaviorism, biological determinism, or an ad hoc, contradictory melange of both. Given the history of biologism as the enemy's weapon, most feminists who draw on it prefer to pretend it's something else, and behaviorist terminology can be useful for this purpose. This is exactly the idea that supports radical feminism's tendency towards transphobia, their reductive and essentialist account of male and female socialization. I already have a video that breaks this down, so check it out for full context. I really recommend for anyone who's interested to check out the full article. It really helped me understand why radical feminism is so bad today.
I have to cover my body for a man to respect me, then he doesn't see me beyond a body, thus he doesn't respect me. If I have to reveal my body for a man to respect me, then he doesn't see me beyond a body, thus he doesn't respect me.
Sorry, I look a fucking hot mess. I'm eating right now. Been given this entire British Petroleum and... Hi, that was me. That was my spam page. You can follow that page, and you can also follow me here. I didn't check my mentions at all on my spam page, and just saw that a bunch of people had duetted that video asking people to follow me, and I got like 1,000 more followers on that page. Thank you so much. But while I have everyone's attention here, if you go to the link in my bio, I currently have this survey up so that a lot of people can be way more informed when it comes to things related to topics that we're talking about on TikTok and leftist spaces and feminist spaces and black spaces and spaces in general. You can pause to read that here. So please fill this out. I've gotten almost 30 responses, which is good, but I'm hoping to get a little bit more. I don't know how many people are gonna, be on this, but please fill that out. Thank you so much. And the link is in my bio.